Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at 12. My name is Janice Kabum, coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Tinubu writes government's multi-million-dollar gas deal with Aku Gas. Plus, Iraq opens probe into Israeli academic kidnapping. A very good afternoon and welcome to the News of Representatives. To confirm the newly appointed service chiefs, the Speaker of the House, Abbas Tajuddin, at plenary read the President's letter seeking the confirmation of the appointments of the heads of security agencies. Recall that on June 19, Tinubu removed all service chiefs in Nigeria and appointed new ones, whom he directed to resume with immediate effect. And meanwhile, the efficiency of the armed forces in Nigeria. He made the promise during the grand finale of the celebration of the 160th establishment. Disclosed that the presidency was aware of issues of inadequate equipment and insufficient funding, among other factors affecting the operational, especially extant humanitarian laws and rules of engagement while conducting operations.
Implore all Nigerian army personnel to remain resolute and be reminded that their sacrifices shall never be in vain. I further urge you all to always be guided by international best practices, especially extant humanitarian laws and rules supported by other stakeholders. We are conscious of the security concerns of the citizenry. As such, I wish to reassure you of our resolve to defeat all threats to national security within the shortest possible time. Let me at this point reiterate that my administration will continue to do everything within its constitutional powers to ensure the safety to remain resolute and be.
From the Red Chambers, the Senate has said that it will investigate a gas processing deal involving the Ministry of Finance, the Niger Delta Power Holding Company, Calabar Generation Company Limited, and Aku Gas Limited. According to the sponsor of the motion, Senator Aniek Bassi, the gas supply agreement is disadvantaged. The upper chamber urged the federal government to ensure due diligence in the preparation and execution of transactions agreements with investors to avoid the scenario the government is facing under the gas supply agreement with Aku Gas and several other entities. And flood waters, it urged the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA to urgently implement a community resettlement plan to relocate residents from high-risk areas. The resolution followed a motion sponsored by Senator Urachures, leading to the loss of lives and properties worth over 4 billion naira and inflicted severe injuries.
I stand to second the motion. Borrow my own.
Thank you, Mr. President. I remain Piggy Varinada, representing the group for this very enabling infrastructure motion. Mr. President, is very straightforward. We know what we are passing through within the South-South, especially the road is mentioned in Cross River. Mr. President, the motion is out and it's on time. And I will urge all distinguished senators in the chamber here to support this motion and let the actualization of this road be done. Thank you, Mr. President.
I am Mohammed Anjumagoje, representing
institutions in the country not to take advantage of the student loan policy of the federal government to increase tuition fees. This followed the adoption of a motion by Tassi Ub and access to higher education with all stakeholders in the education sector. According to him, the use of student loans and educational credit scheme in most countries of the world is often justified because it guarantees greater access to higher education for less privileged citizens. He said there was an urgent need to convene a legislative summit with all stakeholders to develop a strategy to ensure the smooth implementation of the Act for the benefit of indigenous Nigerian students. Away from that, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has charged the suspended resident electoral commissioner in Adamawa State, Hudu Ari, to court. INEC said that Ari, during the 2023 governorship election in Adamawa State, had illegally declared Aishatu Dahiru of the All Progressives Congress (APC) the winner of the Adamawa State governorship election, prompting the police to arrest Ari. A statement by the National Commissioner and Chairman Information and Voter Education Committee of the Commission, Festus Okoye, said it had reviewed the case file sent to the Commission by the police and had filed a 6-count against Ari. He added that the case would be heard. And back here, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Umoino yesterday visited the State People's Democratic Party (PDP) Secretariat at Atano Fort Uyo to appreciate the party, on which platform he emerged governor of the state. The governor was accompanied by his wife, Pastor Patience. The report.
Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Moino has formally appreciated the People's Democratic Party (PDP) for their support, which culminated to his success in the 2023 general election. Speaking during a thank you visit to the party held at the party's state secretariat in Atana Fort Uyo, the governor, who noted that the thank you is not enough to express his gratitude for their efforts during the electioneering period, therefore assured that his appreciation will be evident in his leadership style. He pledged to run an all-inclusive government and ensure that more life-touching projects are initiated and completed in the state.
We thank all of you. We thank you for the privilege you have given to us this afternoon. We needed to come. It is only an ungrateful person that will not say thank you. If you will get fun, I say thank you for it. We've all got what it is. And we can tell you. So we came here this afternoon to this party secretariat to say to the PDP in Akwa Ibom, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Then across the state, another party come on here. Please, we want development for our state. Anyone that God will use to bring us development, we will clap for the person. We will work with the person. So please, we will not segregate. But that does not mean that we are not PDP. I didn't know PDP warrior, because me both work in Yongo, in the Yongo party, and I'm brought together. Let us work together and let us support the government at the state and the government at the national.
While stating that he will continue to support the party and remain faithful to the ideals of that and believe in him, he promised to ensure that the party remains intact and does not disintegrate. The governor, who also used the occasion to urge appointees of government to make their impacts felt in their various communities, also announced that appointments of personal assistants will come from ward recommendations and pledged to ensure that women are given 35% in every appointment. He sued for more support for his government and that of the federal government to enable him attract more projects to Akwa Ibom. Earlier in his welcome address, the state chairman of the party, Elder Kanapan, had commended the governor for his outstanding performance in his first few months in office, stressing that the party was proud of him. He assured the governor that the party will continue. Akwa Ibom State Governor.
Meanwhile, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Moino yesterday granted audience to Senator Itainang, who led the governing council of the recently approved Federal College of Education (EDDEP) in Ibom local government area on a courtesy visit at Government House, Uyo. Speaking during the events, the governor pledged the readiness of the state government to partner for more developmental projects. A correspondent again, Jane Uwa, brings more details.
Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Moino has expressed the readiness of his administration to collaborate with any indigene of the state who is in a position to draw development projects that will create jobs and boost the economy of the state. The governor stated this while playing host to a delegation of the Governing Council and members of the host community of the newly established Federal College of Education, EDDEP, in Ibom local government area of the state, led by the former Senior Special Assistant to the immediate past President on Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Taina, during a courtesy visit on him at Government House, Uyo. Governor said politics should not be all about constituents. The governor commended Senator Taina for his efforts to secure the establishment of the Federal College of Education in the state. This, he maintained, will know no party, but will be of enormous benefit to Akwa Ibom people in terms of education. Receive the documents of approval of the institution and request for collaborations for possible expansion.
It's development for our people and education for our people, job creation for our people. And for me, this is what it should be, that our sons and daughters, wherever God has placed them, is about us working together, state and federal. And we're not too many.
He assured that his administration was ever ready for collaborations that will be over. Speaking further, the governor expressed concern over the Calabar-Itu Road and sought insight into the issues impeding the completion of the project to allow the state government to decide the extent to which it can push for completion for the benefit. I congratulated Pastor Moino on his swearing in as governor of the state and thanked him for receiving them. And I also commended the governor for the respect of paying a visit to President Bola Tinubu to discuss the Akwa Ibom issues and for the reception of Senate President Senator Godswill Akpabio, promising to reciprocate this by looping Akwa Ibom to the central government for the good of the state. And I'm assured that the federal government is ready to kickstart the school in September to accommodate successful JAMB candidates for the session. He also promised to present the governor with a full brief of the status of Calabar-Itu Road project to clarify on lingering issues affecting the completion of some parts of the road project.
Appropriate, and you did it by coming to pay a courtesy visit to His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and discuss the problems of the state and extended felicitations. I appreciate that, we appreciate that, and we assure you that on our part, we shall reciprocate. Your Excellency, I'm here to formally inform you that the federal government has approved, has established Federal College of Education in Senior Science School, in Ibom.
In Uyo, Jane Uwa, Spectrum Television.
We move now to revive a hydroelectric scheme. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa signed the agreement with his counterpart Felix Tshisekedi in the Congolese capital Kinshasa. Inga Dam project is a series of 7 proposed hydroelectric power stations. And still in Africa, the Congolese President Felix Tshisekedi has said he is planning to sign a security agreement with South Africa as militias continue to occupy Ramaphosa in the capital Kinshasa. He explained that the accord could take the form of a mutual defense pact and highlighted the Mutual Defense Pact of the South African Development Community (SADC) as a potential more expected kidnapping of an Israeli-Russian academic after her disappearance in Baghdad. Reports say Elizabeth Sukov, a doctoral student at Princeton University and fellow at the New Lines Institute for Strategy and Policy, has been missing in Iraq for more than 3 months. Meanwhile, the office of Israeli Prime Minister but the pro-Iran army faction has implied that it was not involved in her disappearance. Kataib Hezbollah is allegedly part of the Hashid al-Shabi force former paramilitaries that were integrated into Iraqi security forces in recent years. And elsewhere, at least 50 children, including 8 children, have been killed by floods and landslides triggered by monsoon rains that have slashed Pakistan since last month. The majority of the deaths were reportedly in eastern Punjab province and were mainly due to electrocutions and building collapses. Reports say the summer monsoon brings about South Asia 70 to 80% of its annual rain. Still to come in the news. Super Falcons get opponents ahead of 2024 WAFCON queue. Do stay with us. Many thanks for still being there. Now to the rest of the stories. On the business news, the Chief Executive Officer, Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, Mele Kyari, has announced that the NNPCL would be constructing a petroleum exporting country's international seminar in Vienna, Austria. Kyari stated that the proposed $8 billion pipeline would go through Niger Republic to Algeria and then to Europe. Reports say NNPCL and its partners are currently working on the construction of the $25 billion Nigeria-Morocco gas pipeline that is to supply gas from Nigeria to about 11 countries and transport same from Morocco to Europe. Still in business now, the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) has said it has so far completed about 7,000 projects valued at over 1.66 trillion naira in the Niger Delta region, noting that 6,000 other projects were currently ongoing. The NDDC disclosed this in Abuja at a one-day policy dialogue with development partners and donor agencies organized by the Commission in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs. The chairman NDDC Public-Private Partnership Committee, Emmanuel Audu, outlined the completed and ongoing projects to include roads, bridges, buildings, renewable energy projects, jetties, water supply systems, skill acquisition centers, healthcare and education projects, among others. We move now to health, where the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, the NCDC disclosed this in a press statement signed by its Director General, Dr. Ifedayo Adetifa, following the first reported confirmed case of diphtheria in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. According to the center, the death toll has also risen to 80, with a case fatality ratio of 10% as of June 30, 2023. The NCDC, however, said the federal to coordinate outbreak response activities. And still in health now, the Nasarawa state government has appealed to members of the Nigerian Medical Association (NMA) in the state to reconsider their stance on the ongoing strike to save the lives of patients. Lafia appealed to the striking doctors to call off the strike. Recall that the state NMA chairman, Dr. Peters Atta, at a press briefing in Lafia, the state capital, on Wednesday, had announced that the association will embark on a 5-day warning strike. The association had earlier issued a 21-day strike ultimatum to the state government to meet its demands or face industrial disharmony. We move now to sports, where the Super African Women's Cup of Nations next month. Reports say if the Super Falcons scale through the hurdle, they will face Cape Verde and Liberia in the second round, as the winners will seal a place in Morocco 2024. Recall that the Super Falcons finished fourth at the last edition of the Women's African Cup of Nations WAFCON, also hosted by Morocco. And still in sports now, former Chelsea captain Cisia 11-year stay at Chelsea has come to an end as he has returned home to join Atletico Madrid. Reports say the 33-year-old who joined Chelsea from Marseille has signed a one-year deal with the Spanish side. Recall that Azpilicueta made 508 appearances from the Blues and won 9 trophies, including the Premier League, Champions League, Europa League, Club World. Songwriter Bella Shmurda is set to release a new EP titled DND on July 26. According to the singer, the acronym DND, which means Do Not Disturb, perfectly encapsulates his mindset for 2023. Reports say Bella Shmurda aims to create a unique musical experience with a new project following the release of his debut album Hypertension, which reports. Still on entertainment, Nigerian rapper and the winner of Big Brother Naija Lockdown Edition, Olamilekan Masud, popularly known as Lekan, has released a sophomore album titled Bioba, meaning like a king. Reports say the album Bioba, which comes 2 years after the release of his debut album Shall We Begin, serves as a declaration of Lekan's self-belief in his potential. According to reports, the 12-track project is an intimate journey through Lekan's experiences, struggles and triumph, and features notable Nigerian artists Peruzzi and Oladapo. And that's all we have for you at this time. To follow us on all our social media platforms, and do ensure to subscribe to your YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website at spectrumtv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 12. My name is Janice Cobham. Do have a good afternoon.